Hey, it.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Woo, I'm rushing, but I made it. I said I'd be a few minutes late, but I got it in here.
You got it. You got it.
In the house, along with everybody else in the house.
Everybody in the house.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon, everybody out there that's tuning in at Facebook. Glad you can join us at 1 p.m. because we're here every Friday at 1 o'clock. And we're here basically to help you just understand your money, how to make it work for you. And it's called Financial Sense and the ATR. So we're here every Friday, 1 p.m. Myself, Mad Flo, making a difference for life and others, along with Anthony Murray, and along with that awesome woman called Tanya Scott Pilcher that had that awesome hat on last week. I was going to wear one. I want to wear one. You wear another one. So it's about having fun, but also learning at the same time. And we are going to give you some awesome information today. Again, this is Mad Flo. I'm in the financial industry, but what I focus on financial education, financial literacy, because that is the most important thing if we want to make a better lives for ourselves and for our family. Guess what we need? Financial education. Why go to college and learn all of that stuff you can learn to become a doctor or nurse or astronaut and all that stuff, and you're making money, but then you didn't take financial education, learn how to make that money work for you. So we are going to hit it for you today. Go ahead, Anthony and Tanya, and go ahead and let them know who you are.
Hey. Ladies first. Tanya, you're on mute.
Beauty before beast.
Good afternoon. My name is Tanya Scott Pilcher, and I am with Get Skills. I am also a financial advisor in the insurance industry for over 15 years now. And what we do at Get Skills is that we prepare those people that want to take a look at preparing their lives for the trillion-dollar industry called insurance. And we are doing some fantastic and wonderful things. It has been such an awesome week, you guys. If you all saw my Facebook post, then, I had to toot my own horn today because we had people walk out of class on Sunday. They are already testing and passed. It's like, whoa! This was the first week that we did the property and casualty class, and I partnered with my son to do the property and casualty. And what an awesome return on our investment this week. We had some young people in the class under the age of 30. We had some other folks that were insurance agents' children or young adults. And it was just an awesome class. He did a fabulous job. And to see these folks walk in, not wait, 4 days, 3 days, but 2 days, to go in and, just turn it out. So That's what we do. That's how we prepare you to be ready to take the exam and get into this financial freedom type of job or career that we have going on. So that's what we do over at Get Skills. And I am just enjoying being with these fantastic hosts. And so right now we're going to introduce our handsome Anthony Murray.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anthony.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Guys, thank you for being with us today. Someone already sent us a heart. We love you too. My name's Anthony Murray, and I am I don't know what to call myself. I'm a financial entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go that route. And uh, I've been in the finance. Well, I've been in and out of the finance industry since for a long time, since 1981 or 82, something like that, and decided to make a full run of it in 2018. And so I'm excited about it. There's a lot of great things happening. If you really want to get away from slavery, then you have to become financially free. Financially free. Financially free. A lot of people are in such bondage to debt that they can't enjoy life. They can't enjoy life. And how unfortunate that is. But in the finance industry, one of the things I love about it so much, especially with the platform that I'm part of, I'm with an organization called World System Builder, World Financial Group. Our platform is so wide. If you want to help people with their educational finance areas, you can help them with that. We offer that. You can help people with Social Security, finding out what their Social Security will be. You can help people put money away and accumulate massive amounts of money. You can help people with budgeting. There's just so much. We have such a wide platform. If you want to specialize in a particular area, you could do that. If you want to specialize in just helping seniors, if you want to specialize in and just helping children, whatever you want to do. Such a wide platform. I am with two of the most gracious ladies, Florence Glover, and she goes by Mad Flo, and Tanya Scott Pilcher. Man, what a blessing. And we've been here with you guys. You ready for this? A year. 1 year.
1 year.
Yep. Happy anniversary to us. So this is going to be a very special show, and we want you guys to really enjoy, and we want you to contact a friend. All right, get your trusty dusty phone out and text somebody and invite them. Okay, so let's get to our topic today. We're going to allow who is it? One of you ladies is going to open it up. Tanya came up with that beautiful topic.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Well, let's find out what the topic is, then we decide who came up with it.
What is the topic today? It's about money. That's what
It's about money. I know it's about money. It better be about money.
It is definitely about money.
How do you know when you're financially free?
How do you know? That's
How
right.
do you know?
How do you know? Well, I got an answer for it though.
Okay.
Okay. So, financially free means that you are not tied down to one location doing one thing, that you have the freedom. For me, it means that I have the freedom to travel, which is something that I love to do. And so, of course, today I am on the road, and I am in Texas this week, um,
Oh.
spreading my wings, making our business a staple here in San Antonio. And
Did
so
you drive? Did y'all drive?
we surely
Okay.
did. We did those 19 hours. And so we
Okay.
are, expanding our operation into this area where we have agents already or team members. And so now we are going to do Get Skills out here too. And so we came out to get started. So, anyway, but it allows you to be able to do that and keep things going because my life is very busy, not just with a business, but also with I homeschool. I've talked about that often. And so it gives me the freedom to be able to take care of my family any way I choose to. And that's what to me financially free means. When I'm able to do the things that I want to be able to do and nothing stops me. So not even COVID. So nothing stops me. And that's what being financially free means for me.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. That is powerful. Someone gave me an acronym, um, not for financially free, but it is for financially free. It's for poor. Poor.
Hmm?
Yeah. A lot of poor people, right? It's for poor. Passing over opportunities repeatedly.
That is so true.
Passing over opportunities repeatedly. What a powerful acronym. Uh, what about you? Are you passing over opportunities? Now, when you look at this podcast, you look at it, you say, oh, there are three people. Oh, okay, all right, people of color. Oh, okay, all right. But are you passing over an opportunity of information? Are you passing over the information opportunity? Because that's what we give. Information that's relevant for you for today to help change things around. All right. So that's what I picked that up from someone not long ago, and man, what a blessing to think about that for a moment. And what we want to do, we're going to have a series, okay? So in this series, we're going to cover different topics that relate to uh, what we're doing today. All right, what does financial independence mean, or what is financial freedom? All right, we want to really dig into that, and it may be a few weeks. All right, actually, it will be because we'll have different topics related to this. So let's look at one area. Let's talk about budgeting. Budgeting. You want to get free? Then you need a budget.
Mm-hmm.
You need a budget, a good budget. All right. So, where do you start with a budget? If I may suggest, and you ladies could jump in anytime, if I may suggest, be honest. All right. Sit down. If you're married, then you and your spouse need to sit down and be honest. Now, husbands, wives, all of us have a little change put somewhere where the spouse, excuse me, have no access. All right. Now, oh, Tanya's shaking her head. Yeah, 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 that's true. All right, I'm telling your husband. I'm telling your husband. Uh-huh. I hope he's right there. Uh-huh. I'm telling you, he's right there. Uh-huh. Yep. He already knows. All right. So don't include that. Don't include that in your budget. What do you want to look at for your budget? When you get a paycheck and you have that check in front of you, you're looking at it, you're all excited, and you go cash that check, or it's directly deposited into your account.
Mm-hmm.
That money, unless you're an independent contractor or a 1099, that money is what they call your net earnings. Your net earnings, right? What is your gross earnings? Gross earnings would be before they take out for anything, before they take out for taxes, before they take the taxes out, before they take the insurance out, before they take the FICA out, or the Social Security, or what, before they take all that stuff out, right? That's your gross. The money that you actually get is called your net. Now, I know my colleagues saying, "What's wrong with that boy? He going to..." Well, we got to go into the basics, right? Why are we going to the basics? Because I learned in this industry not to assume. I've had too many clients. Do you have a budget? I have too many clients that did not understand. Adults, grown folks, black clients, white clients, all kind of persuasions, that didn't understand the difference between the net and the gross. So let's explain it. All right. The net is the actual money you take home. You cash that check. You got paid $500, but you only get back $410.22. That's your net. All right. So you take that and you want to make a chart. You want to make a chart, say monthly budget.
Hey, Anthony,
go right ahead, Flo.
Take and start something. We're going to backtrack on that.
Back up. Okay.
When I want to do a budget, and I'm having one of my clients right now, to basically put all of his finances in order. So I take my little spare time. And what I did, I created a spreadsheet for him first. Mm-hmm. But he came to me. Well, I go to him and I go and help him out, and he has bagfuls of receipts, mail, and all this. No organization. So the first place we need to start, we have to get them to understand. They have to organize all of this stuff, and then we can work towards that budget. And what I'm talking organizing, everything needs to be categorized. So what I did, and I finished it up last night for him, I categorized all the bills that he had. I created a spreadsheet. Now on the spreadsheet, we categorized how we're going to put in his bills. So I broke it down this way. And then we can move towards the budget. Because once I have all of that organized for him, I know what bills are in place, what he's paying, how much he's paying for. But this is how I broke it down for him on the spreadsheet. And I just did a Google spreadsheet for him. I put down the mortgages. So all the mortgages that he has, this guy has, I think about, he rents property, he buys property. So I think he had maybe about 10 mortgages. Mm-hmm. We had to take a look at his household utilities. So we broke down his household utilities for him, got that together. Then we looked at all the insurances, the different types of insurances, car insurance, homeowners insurance, home warranty insurances. So we broke all of that down, including his life insurances that he has, health insurance. So we categorized all of that for him. I did all that for him. We did his household bills. I'm looking at some of the stuff that I did for him last night. And I've been working with this guy for maybe about the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
I had it all categorized. I broke it down. I said, don't touch anything I got right here. So last night, what we did was all of his, because you have to include everything when you talk about a budget.
That is true.
We included all of his tax properties that he owes taxes on for city and county. I had to break all of that down for him. We also did when we talk about his savings account, his Roth IRAs, all of that, we had to categorize that and break that down first. So I was able to categorize that. I'll go back probably next week and finish inputting all the information for him. And and then that way we have a spreadsheet for every month. Everything that goes out of his house, goes out of that check or whatever money
Hmm.
going out, we have it categorized. So the first step in budgeting, we have to learn, we have to organize first. Then once you
Well,
organize everything,
mhm.
then we can move towards that budget.
All right. So I was looking at the same thing, except for what I always encourage. Go ahead, Tanya.
I was just gonna say, okay, but then why? What do we do all that work for?
All right.
It makes
So,
it easy to see. I do this because I can look into my book that I have
hmm
everything listed. And I do
hmm
mine by book. I used to do it electronically. I have it both
hmm
ways. But I can look at my book, excuse me, and I can see exactly what's going out. And when I know what's going out, excuse me, like last month, I paid off some bills. So some bills that I had that was paid off, I would not include it into this month. So guess what? My budget is going to show that I have little money discrepancy. So when I had maybe $1,000 available last month, I paid off some bills. I look at it. I don't include those bills I paid off. So this month right here, guess what I had? Excuse me. I had $3,000 available. And so having everything in front of me, to me, it makes it easier. And I keep all of mine in a book that I transfer every month. The new bills or all the bills, and if I eliminate some bills, I don't include those bills that I have. If I created a new bill, it will go into it will follow into the next month. But
yeah.
all that work to me and it's making a big difference in this guy's life because he had no organization. He couldn't start
hmm
with a budget because he don't know, he's just paying and doesn't have, excuse me, doesn't have anything in order.
hmm
Or
Now,
know where his money is going.
yeah, he just pays. And he when I go to every night, he said, "Oh, Miss Glover, I want to thank you," because he had no direction, and it was some things that I could, suggest that he could eliminate some of these bills. Why are you paying? Why are you paying for Yellow Pages? Oh, because Yellow Pages give me the free website. And then you look at what he's paying for the Yellow Pages, it's over $500. So he's paying
Oh,
for Yellow Pages, but then again, they're giving him a free website. When I say, you know what, you can get and create a website for less than $500 that you pay
less.
for
Yeah.
advertising.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things I do, and I like your idea because that's where I was going, but I just do it a little different. And folks, you that are already working with a budget, you may do yours a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like people to know how much income they have coming in. All right. When you look at a in accounting, a debit and credit sheet, what they look at first is how much income you have coming in. That's your credit. And then your debit would be all the money's coming out of that. So what happens with a lot of people is that they guess
Oh
how
yeah.
much money they're going to have at the end of the week. And then they end up, as opposed to being in the red or the positive, they end up in the black, the negative, right? And which means they've spent more money than they had liquid cash. So how do they do that? Well, I'll just put it on my MasterCard. I'll just put it on my Visa. I'll just put it on my whatever, right? They're spending more money than what or hey, I'll just borrow it from Uncle Jojo or Aunt Sally Sue, whomever, right? They still spent more money. So the key is you have to know what you have coming in to the penny and what you have going out. And you have to, just like Flo was saying, you have to get detailed. I mean, really detailed. If you have properties, you need to list all those properties. I was talking with someone last night, yesterday, that actually had property funeral plot property in DC. She forgot all about it. All right. And begin to think about her different assets and then remembered and boom. So go ahead, Tanya.
One of the other things, and it's always a great idea to budget, because one of the other things that you forget about are the things that automatically coming out of your check or coming out of your
Exactly.
account. So you all of a sudden have these, I'm going to say $1.99 or $29.99. And you're like, well, what is this for? But it's just automatically coming out of your account each month.
Yep.
And we don't put those down because we have the cash to pay for it or the money to pay for it. But when we are short, those are the things that you end up forgetting about. So like Flo said, making sure that you have every single thing that comes out. So even if you had insurances or, right now we don't have cable anymore. We have streaming television, right? And so that $9.99 hits your account every single month. And it's something that you forget if you don't have it written down somewhere.
Yep, that is so true. That's a very important point right there. People that buy magazines, they forget about those little charges.
Especially with those promotional magazines where, you get a promotion that says free for 1 year. And then you don't see the fine print after the 12 months. Then they start charging you and you just forget about it. You don't realize it. And it's one thing I do. I pay all of my bills, everything I pay out of one checking account. One checking account. I would just take and transfer. Like I just made a little purchase just now. Out of my one checking account, but I have another checking account that all of my deposits go in. So I make a transaction with the one that all the money comes out of. I just purchased something, and then when I get to my cell phone or to my computer, I go to my bank account, and I do a transfer from the one that has my deposits into the one that I pay all of the bills. So I just transfer $50.25 from my deposit account into
those are good details right there.
And everything I do comes out of one checking account because it makes it a whole lot easier. I used to have 3 or 4 checking accounts using all, and then when something happens, I can't find out which account did I use it from or whatever. It makes it a whole lot easier.
So can we explain to our audience why, most people complain that they don't even have enough money to budget, and why budgeting is important, even if you only have a little bit of income?
Well, yeah, I agree with you 100%. It doesn't matter how much income you have, you still need to work with a budget. All right. If you don't work with a budget, then what's going to happen is what I said earlier, is that you're going to end up on the short end. You'll end up wanting to do something or doing something without money that you don't have the money available. All right. And then you create debt and then more debt. And debt is actually is economic slavery. There's healthy debt and there's unhealthy debt. What's healthy debt? You have a mortgage, you pay it on time. That's a healthy debt. When I grew up, we had payphones. We didn't have cell phones. We had payphones. All right. So that really kept me from going into debt because you put that, well, it used to be a nickel, then a dime, and then a quarter, then 50 cents, right?
On every corner. On every corner.
All right. And then we went to cell
phones. Liquor store, every corner.
And with cell phones, after time, right? What happened with cell phones? Now there's residual income for those companies. All right. So do you need all the apps and all that stuff or all the add-ons to the phone? I mean, really, how much of this stuff are you going to use anyway? Right. So it's important, extremely important. A budget is like a roadmap. or like, sorry, we don't use roadmaps these days, do we? A budget
Yeah.
is like GPS.
GPS.
Tanya, why don't you add something to it? Your hubby right there, tell him to chime in.
And you know what, Tanya, before you say anything, if you have a budget, this is how you avoid overdrafts. Overdrafts will
Mm,
cost you. If you don't know what's going in and coming out of your checking account, and you end up with overdrafts, and overdrafts you have to pay what, sometimes $35 for a check that bounced.
mm.
So just think about that. When you have a budget, you can avoid overdrafts on your checking accounts, and overdrafts cost you.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't budget because you always want to know what's coming in,
Norm
what's going
Johnson,
out.
so true.
Amen. So true. You know, you've got to know where your money is.
Well,
What's going on with your money?
the other thing is we spend so haphazardly with the debit card.
Mm-hmm.
The debit card or the credit card makes you, you go to the gas station. Gas is what I need for my vehicle. So the price of the gasoline is going up. But anyway, you just go to the gas pump and you just buy gas. And some of those things you just don't write down. You go to the grocery store, you just purchase groceries. You don't think about at that time what's going on in my bank account. I have the money at that time to cover it. I forgot about what's coming out, and that's another way that we fall into an issue or problem because we don't budget ahead of time. So Flo was giving an example and she said the next month I got $3,000. Well, that $3,000 that I have now, I'm gonna probably gas my car up a little more frequently, may spend a little bit more money in the grocery store.
When I have a little extra, my thing is this: if I have a little extra, I overfund my IULs. So I put that extra money right, and I know exactly how much I can put in to maximize my IULs because I have it written down. I know that, hey, if I put an extra 187, that's the maximum that I can put in per
Okay.
month for 12 months. And I just overfund my IULs.
Yeah, I
So,
was going to ask you if you save with that
oh yeah,
extra
yeah, that
because
extra
most people
is going to
don't
go somewhere.
aren't prepared for an opportunity. Most people put money aside for an emergency, for a
Right.
crisis, all right? Or they don't have the money available in the event of an emergency or a crisis, right? But
Mhm.
I'd like to encourage you to, and this is where a budget also comes in handy. If you're able to put money to the side, you need liquid money. All right, you need money available to you right away, right? For an opportunity. An opportunity. I was listening to a guy Tuesday in our organization. He's in Canada. This guy keeps around $140,000 in his checking account, just his checking account. All right. Why? Opportunity. Opportunity presents itself. Boom. He's going to take the advantage of it. So the question is, what is an opportunity? Let's say you're looking for a car for one of your children, and you go by a car dealer and they have a special going on, and it's 10,000, 15,000 below cost. And it's a hot deal. It's one of those pre-owned situations. So you get everything's been checked out and you're going to get a little small warranty with it, right? You could apply for financial assistance, but if you have money available, why go into debt, right? You could just write a check or use your debit card and pay for that thing. That's an opportunity. Let's say that you're driving down the road and there's this plot of land that you've been looking at for the last 6.5 years. And all of a sudden it goes up for sale by owner. If you don't have the money available, or if your credit is tore up from the floor up, You got to take that into consideration with budgeting also, but we'll talk about credit another time. You want to take the advantage of that opportunity, then you want to make sure that you have funds available. So why do we save? You can save for an emergency if you want, but I suggest you save for an opportunity. And you want to have, like Flo said earlier, she has several accounts. I'm sure she has an account that she doesn't touch. She just puts money into it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you have another, a good budget or have one account. Like she said, you take money out, put it into this one to pay bills. All right. Or to buy grocery. All right. I had a lady that I was dealing with that all her bills and her grocery came out of one account. And for her children, came out of that account. But then she had another account that was strictly for when her and her husband travel. A budget is a budget, but you have to departmentalize all this. What opportunity are you preparing for? So, guys, what opportunity are you preparing for?
Good question.
And when was that poor? Passing over opportunities regularly. When opportunities
Passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Usually cannot take advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, what is an opportunity? It depends. An opportunity, it all depends on the person's situation when it comes to an opportunity. When an opportunity is not, most people are not going to answer that door, and it just passes them by because they're looking for something better. And it's something that we don't do that most of us need to get back to. Like Tanya was saying, we don't write it down. We used to have, and it still comes with your checks, a ledger where you write.
I was going to mention that.
If you write a check, you write down what you wrote it for. If you made a deposit, you put that deposit down. And I'm going to tell you something. When I was growing up, and I did a ledger when I first got a first checking account at age 16. Ledger, I used that all the time. I taught my daughter how to use a ledger. Now, when things came out where it's more convenient on the computer and everything, I kind of got away from the ledger. But my daughter to this day, 43 years old, guess what she does? What I taught her when she was 16. She uses a ledger. I see her every day when she goes, she's writing down what she put in and she's writing down what she deposited. To this day, the girl is 43 and she uses a ledger and she is, she budgets. I taught her what I know or what I knew when I was growing up, so I can make sure that I had a daughter or a child that was independent, that knew how to, manage money. And to this day, she does that just from what I knew, the little information that I knew when I was growing up. And budgeting was one of them. Was one of them.
Yeah. Hey, look, let's go, straight to specifics here. What Flo was saying with that ledger, you use a debit card, write it down in your ledger. I was at a grocery store. This lady swiped that card, took that ledger out, and wrote it in there. I was at a gas station one day. This lady, she paid for her gas at the pump, took out her ledger, wrote it in there. All right.
Okay, so, well, I have some bad habits then, because I don't do that.
I don't do it either now. My ledger is transferring the money once I write a check or I'm using a debit card, transferred from my deposit money to what the account that I use for all my checks. So that's my ledger now. That's how I do that. And if I have not made that transfer, let's say I made transfers. I made a couple of purchases in a row, and I did not do my transfers right then. But what I did last night when I went to my client's house or business to help him, I said I need a minute for my personal. And at that time, I went to my computer, pull up my bank account, look into the account that I made purchases from, wrote those numbers down that I made the purchases, which was 5, look down at my deposit, where I made my deposit, see if I made those transfer. I did not. I didn't immediately make those transfers. So if I don't do it then, I make sure that it's done within 1 to 2 days, and I'm always, staying on track.
Hey, Flo. Norman had a question. He said he didn't understand the concept to checking accounts. Could you elaborate
Okay.
on that?
What I have done, Norm, is
Unless you are running a business, and I suggest that people treat your house like you're running a business, and you stay
Mhm.
out of trouble. Go right ahead, Flo.
Well, what I do, Norm, is this: I actually have three checking accounts, but the main ones, one is my any money that comes into the household, it goes into the deposit account. I call it deposit account. So all money coming to that account. Then I have a second account. Any checks that I write, no matter what it is, all of it comes out of that account. So what I do is I just take and use my debit account that has all money coming in.
Hmm.
I wrote a check for $50 out of the going out account. I immediately go to my account, pull it up, make a transfer of $50 from the debit account to the going out of money account. So I pay it that way. Um, and you have a maximum of two. That's a great idea. Pay them off monthly. And then if I like today, I made a account. I used my credit card today. It was $272. I as soon as I used that credit card, I immediately went to my checking account and I made sure that I paid off that $272 today out of the account that I use for all of my bills. I immediately paid that, and then what I did, I immediately went to the debit. May sound confusing. I went to the debit, transferred $272 to that account that has all the purchases. So now my credit card is clear. I know that everything's been paid up. I
All
just
right. So if I'm hearing you right, you have departmentalized in your head and on paper
right.
how to systematically pay things off.
Yeah. And that
All
way
right.
I'm not in debt. I don't have the credit cards are paid off. And
Girl,
I started maybe about 4 years, 5 or 6 years ago. It sounds confusing, but it works for me. So if you find something that works, no matter what, if it's a budget and works for you, may not work for me, long as it works.
yeah, as
Hey,
long as, and that definitely sounds like a process and a method for. I'm not that detailed. I'm just
Okay.
not that together. What I learned from the show, I think we did budgeting or something last year in reference to credit card. I was always using a debit card, right? And so I think someone said, it's better to use your credit card, use somebody else's money, and make sure you pay it off. So I knew it. I started it. I do it sometimes, but now I'm getting a whole lot better. So I'm building. I can see where I'm building points. Again, I like to travel. So
Mhm.
one credit card that I use most of the time is going to build points so that I can get airline tickets, right?
Yeah.
So I do
Same
that,
here.
and I pay that off. But as far as being that organized, Flow, I mean, I'm laughing because I don't have nowhere near that type of discipline whatsoever. So my habit is around the 20th of the month, I look at all of my credit card, if I did any credit card stuff. Okay. And I only have a couple. So it's not just like I think it was Bubba that said that he had two credit cards. So I have two credit cards. I look at the balance at the 20th, I pay it off. Boom. So all of my household things, I won't say all, but a majority of my household stuff that I do out is going to be on the credit card. So if I spent, $1,200, then that's paid off, done. If I spent $1,500 on the other one, paid off, done. Um, but I get your method. I mean, I have one
Yeah.
checking account. I don't
If,
budget.
if you
I
budget and it
don't.
works for you, as long as you budget it and
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
works for you, like
I'm
Norm says, it sounds confusing. I do the same with one checking account, and I understand that. But
yeah.
when I
I
know
wish
that
I had it.
in my account that all the checks are going out right now, sitting in that account right now is $4,000, and guess what? every bill for the household is already in that account to be paid. So I don't know. I know that when a bill is ready to be paid, it's coming out automatically because the money's there.
Yeah,
And the other account, the debit account, is like extra money that I have that I can do what I want to do with it when I want to do with it. But
yeah,
I don't use that other account.
doesn't work. Oh, okay. He said works for everyone. He said it doesn't work for everybody. Yeah. I was like, okay, Norman was agreeing with you that it does work and it works for everyone, but then he kind of changed it. But yeah, I think that we all ought to start on paper, definitely, and knowing what our budget is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just I wish that I was somewhere near that organized. Oh
I've
my
been like this since I was 16. I'll find a system and I'll stick with it. And this one right here, I've been doing this one right at least. It has to be at least 10 years now. I've been doing this.
Wow.
It works
So you
great.
went from 16, 10 years. So you're 26. I got you, girl. Yes.
I'm 20.
Yeah, right. She's 26 up. Anyway,
Uh,
anyway,
yeah.
I met this lady. I met this lady a couple of years ago that in her budgeting, what she does every single morning, she said after she has routine, and before she heads out the door, she pulls up her checking account every
Mhm.
single morning.
That's
Yeah.
me.
That's me. I do that.
Every
That's
single
a
morning.
bubble chart. I look
You
at
know,
it every day.
so you got to do what Tanya said and what the gentleman said. What's his name? Bubba. You have to, Bubba. That's the all right. You have to do what works for you, but you got to find what works for you. You have to know what you have coming in. If you don't know how much money you have coming in, you're going to be up the creek without a paddle. If you don't know how much money
Overdraft
you
fee
have coming in, and if you don't know how much money you have going out, you're going to be in serious trouble.
with an overdraft fee.
Yeah. Now, listen, the banks earn literally millions, I mean, millions of dollars a year on overdraft fees. You
Mhm.
know what an overdraft fee is?
$36.
It's money you don't have.
Right.
Mhm.
So can we help a young person? Let's say a 20-some-year-old person got a couple of jobs and teaching them why is it important, how do they move from, if they budget, how does it benefit them in 6 months if they budget? Can we answer that?
Yeah, if they know where their money's, how much money's coming in, and they know where that money's going out, a budget is going to be the most efficient tool that they can use, especially a 20, 21 year old, no matter what the age. But that's the best tool that they can use in their financial endeavor is to know, write it down, know how much money's coming in and know how much money's going out. And then you can figure out what little bit of money you can play with, what you have left over you can play with. So yeah, anybody that listens to this show, I think, is learning. I think a written budget does the same thing for you. I helps you know what's coming in and going out without having to several checking accounts. My opinion. Great, I like your opinion, Norm. I love my system. I
See,
love my
that's what works for Norm, and you have to know what works for you. What works for one, it's not necessarily going to work for you.
and I
You
did
know,
that before with the money.
just like what Tanya said. She's
Well,
not that detailed. I'm not that detailed. I'm
pay
not.
off
But my
debts for
wife.
true freedom and wealth. Pay
Yep.
Mhm.
off debts for true freedom and wealth. That
Yep.
is that is it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That is it. And don't create debt you can't afford.
Hello.
Good Lord.
Hello.
so true.
Don't create debt that you cannot afford.
Yep. Because that's what a lot of people do. Because a lot of people are what? Impulse buyers.
Not just that they're impulse buyers, we just live above our means.
Live above our
So
means.
you are, a young person that has an apartment,
Uh-huh.
and you cannot afford to pay for an apartment at $1,500 a month by yourself on $15 an hour.
Right.
You have to work a lot more in
Hello.
order to do that. You are living above your means. You're
Mhm.
struggling to make that mortgage, I mean, that rent every single month, along with
Mhm.
auto and auto insurance for a young
Mhm.
person. I mean, it's just very expensive. And so if they don't begin to put those things down, writing them down,
Mhm.
making sure that you're not overspending in some areas, because a budget will keep you from overspending when you're eating out. It'll
Mhm.
keep you from overspending on frivolous things. It allows you to know that just because you like to play the games and you buy this and buy that, you only need one membership. You
Mhm.
can't afford 4 or 5 memberships. And if
Yeah,
you don't have it written down, you don't know where you can cut back.
that's right.
And that's the main
Mhm.
part,
Mhm.
of budgeting, and why it's so important is because if you're not keeping track of your funds on how they're going out, then there's no way for you to know where can I cut back so that I can have some additional monies in this category so that I will have rent next month, or I will
Mhm.
be able to pay my car insurance, or I will be able to afford a car that costs $300 a month instead of being sold by
Yeah.
the dealers a $500 a month automobile.
Right. Right.
So budgeting is important for those reasons because
Mhm.
we keep saying if you don't know what's going in, you don't know what's going out.
You
Right.
don't, yeah.
But you got to be able to see what's going out
Mhm.
because we spend frivolously when we have money in our account.
That's
Because
right.
just like that lady, she wakes up each morning and she looks into her bank account. I do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I got some money. Yeah, yeah. All right. Let the day begin.
Mhm.
But I forget about um and I'm gonna go back to that $1.99 that I had on there for some space. Somebody was charging me. I don't know if it was iClouds or Apple or somebody. Like, what is this $1.99? I did not budget for it.
Mhm.
And
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm sure it's small, but it's something as small as $1.99 can really send you to $36 getting a what's that thing called? Chargeback,
Chargeback.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Overdraft. That was no, an overdraft.
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 You can get an overdraft on just $1.99. So now this $1.99 thing cost me $37, $38, right?
Mhm.
So that's why it's important. And then you can see where you are overspending, where you're spending out too much. Because a lot
Mhm.
of us talk about budgeting, and
Mhm.
you will see us when we're trying to get something having bag lunches.
Mhm.
Okay. We are cutting our gym membership. We are not traveling as much. We're
Mhm.
not putting gas in our car
Not
to and
going out to eat as much.
we're not going out to eat. So
Mhm.
those things will help us to have more. Again, financial freedom and financial wealth, you more than likely have to give up something in order to get there. And
Yeah,
so
you know what,
there's a plan for you to be able to get there.
Tanya, you said a whole bunch. I mean, a whole bunch. Um, do you have a plan for your life? Do you have a plan for different increments in your life? Do you have a plan? My wife and I, before we had children, both of us had these nice little plush jobs, right? And so, always in a rush. So, we didn't eat breakfast at home, but we buy breakfast on the way. We didn't bring lunch, so we bought lunch while we go out for lunch while we at work, and maybe have dinner at home, or if we're too tired, we order in or go out. Man, we sat down one day and we added up the money we were spending daily, and then weekly, then monthly, then annually. Let me tell you something. It was astronomical. It went to the thousands. Let me tell you what we did. Breakfast at home. We started going to the grocery store more, buying what we like to eat. Boom, have it at home. You can bring it with you. I started brown bagging everything I could brown bag, because when you're spending an average of $10 to $12 to $15 just on your lunch, all right, and then maybe you go by McDonald's to get your breakfast sandwich and a coffee and all these other. All right, so that's $5 or $7. You add that up, and there's two people, maybe three or maybe four. It becomes a bit much, right? Now you're looking at it, and where did the money go? And you're trying to figure it out. So, what type of plan? I want to ask you, what type of plan do you have for you and your family? What type of plan do you have? Are you throwing away your opportunity money? See, if you don't have a plan, that means you don't have a vision. If you don't have a vision, that means you're fulfilling someone else's vision with your money. Right. All right. So you need to really think about this thing, and we want to get into this some more. We're running short on time, but we have a variety of topics related to this area, and so you don't want to miss it. You want to invite your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers. You want to invite them to this, because we're going to hit on some stuff here to really make you think. What is financial freedom?
Yes. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this Friday. We are so excited that you were able to join us today, and we'll be back.
You know, we got 2.5 minutes left, Tanya, right?
Yeah, we'll be back next week at 1 o'clock to make sure that we are educating you on what it's like to be financially free, and you can have it. So if you'll take us out, Miss Flo.
Hey, y'all guys, this was awesome. One thing we learned is one thing might not work for one other person, but as long as you are, you got a budget in place, you got something that works for you, that's what matters. You're making sure that you're taking advantage of what we're sharing with you guys. So, it was an honor to have Tanya. What he's saying here. The 2 checking accounts option would probably work better for those who are not good at keeping up with writing down every transaction. It's probably true, Barbara Chaplin. It's probably true.
Probably me.
I want to let you know, I used to do the writing down thing too. And I just converted to something else that I like a whole lot better and works for me. But as long as you're doing something, that's the key. As long as you're doing something. So you guys, we'll be back here next Friday, 1 o'clock, same time. Check us out on YouTube. This is All Things Relevant Media. We have so many shows available, but this is one of the best shows they have right here, 1 o'clock at Fridays. And we will check you guys out later. You all want to say anything else?
Yep. My name is Anthony Murray. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for the comment.